it's an off-year election. It's so hard to get people out when there's not a governor to vote for, when there's not a president to vote for.
Hello and welcome back to Grumble and Growl. I'm Gail Tosh, your host, as we examine issues from the local to the global perspective so that you can make better choices. Today, we are here with a special guest. We have Courtney Gauthier. She is running for the Town of Clay Town Council, where she will be a council person. Councilwoman?
Not a councilman.
Not a councilman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're running for office. What has, a lot of people think about it. I know a lot of people think about it. They don't ever do it. Why did you decide to run?
Well, it took me 35 years to realize I'm an adult. So, I think I've been semi-involved in politics for a while. There's people that do way more than I do, right? I've walked a few petitions. I've gone to a few town board meetings.
That's a way lot more than other people. So give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you.
A little pat on the back.
But I think every time you look at a room, you're like, well, when they're looking for people to run for office, well, so-and-so's going to be a better candidate, or this person has more experience, or, it's that imposter syndrome that's kind of always there. Mm-hmm. And finally, I was like, you know what? I think that I'm in a place personally. My son is a teenager finally.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, we're not done yet, but fingers crossed. My husband and I are stable in our jobs. And so it's just kind of gotten to a point in our lives where I'm like, okay, I think we're adults. So I think I can do this. And I think that if you look at the general trend of people who run for election, people who are elected, the millennial viewpoint isn't always the one that's in the room, probably a lot for that reason, right? You're constantly looking that this person has more experience than I do, or comes from a different background that, would be better, or just I'm not at a point in my life that I should do that. And you can only complain so often before you're like, all right, well, I guess I better do something. So
that means you really are an adult, and that makes me ask you.
Scary.
It's scary, but that makes me wonder why you want to go into politics. Because it's like this today that we are filming is the day that George Santos is going into prison. Okay,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just saw it on the news.
I'm surprised that made it. There's a lot going on.
I know, right?
In between your South Park episodes.
So an adult in politics. So as an adult in politics, looking at the Clay Town Board, what are some of the issues that you think that your experience can, affect?
Yeah, globally and nationally, it's insanity, right? And then you look at the majority of politics and of change happens locally, and everybody says that, but it doesn't always feel like that because that's not what's in the news, right? And then for us locally, we've got Micron, huge thing coming in the town of Clay. Mm-hmm. And how does that impact our future? How does that impact the community that everybody's worked really hard to grow, to raise their children in, to buy homes in, to try and buy homes in? It's so looking at how does this look? I think most people are for Micron. I'm not necessarily against it. I think that there needs to be a better focus on responsible growth, transparent growth. There's a lot of questions regarding environmental impact, and that's slowly starting to come to light, but also people already live here, right? They already have their homes here, or they're renting here and are biding their time trying to eventually buy a home here. And how does that look for the people that have always lived in Clay? I think right now there's a lot of focus for all the new people that are going to come to Clay and the surrounding areas, and what that looks like for the economy. And that's fantastic, as long as we are keeping a focus also on what these businesses coming in are doing to our traffic patterns just outside of 481, outside of 81, right? There's a lot of focus on how do we get cars to and from Micron. I haven't heard much about plans of what does this look like. All these people still have to go to the grocery store. They still have to go to the gas station. They have to go to the doctors. They have to have a doctor to go to. It's a lot bigger than that. And from a town level, it also puts the town of Clay in a really cool place, right? So everybody wants to be in the town of Clay now. You look at just drive up and down a few main roads, you can see the banks that are starting to build. All sorts of different banks are coming in because there's money to be had. There's investments in the area. So that also gives the town board, the town as a whole, economic power to require more of the businesses that are coming in. I think that, it's really easy to look at somebody's proposal and say, yeah, that looks great. But you go to some of the other towns that have economic power, and the new businesses that are coming in are all required to have, say, the same brick facade or whatever that may be. I'm not saying that that necessarily needs to be the case here, but we're in a position, we being the town of Clay, are in a position that we don't have to beg companies to come in. We can say, we would love to have you. We want to see X, Y, and Z, and really take the town to the next level from a traffic point of view, from a stores available point of view, and just from a general aesthetic point of view.
Okay, so you touched on a lot of things
I know
there.
I'm
Like, first of all,
all over
you're
the place.
thinking ahead.
Yeah.
You're thinking ahead, right? You're talking about all this growth that's coming and how it's going to impact everything, not just Micron and the
Yeah.
people who are working there, but the town, the people who are already here.